everybody for Raidable Crest Titans.
Welcome to Land Did Know Where. As you can see, it's blue skies and curious faces on the seafront as the 2020 MRF Tyres BTRDA Rally Series prepares to kick into gear. The championship enters a new decade, and with Storm Chiara on her way to batter the UK, we're about to have a storm on some iconic rally stages as well. Reigning champion Ewan Thorburn not back to defend that title, which means we've got previous champions against new pretenders to that throne. Among those, George Lepley. Remember him? He proved himself in just about everything he did so well last season, and we're looking forward to how he goes against our previous champions, including Stephen Petch and Charlie Payne. What a battle we're looking forward to at this opening round and across the 7 rounds of the championship this season. 7 stages kick us off then for the Cambrian Rally, including one formidable stage on gravel tyres on the Great Orme. Shall we get to the stages? George, you have shown us what you can do in a 4-wheel drive, and of course you showed us what you could do in every other drivetrain and category last year as well. You're really bringing a challenge this year. I've got a feeling about that.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm just really looking forward to getting going, to be honest. It's been a long break since the track rod, and yeah, like you say, with the back end of last year to go in a 4-wheel drive car and 2 times on the podium. We obviously won the BTRDA event on the Woodpecker, so yeah, a great start to my 4-wheel drive debut, but yeah, looking forward to getting going today.
We go back out onto those stages then for the very first time in this new decade. And it would be the early lead for Stephen Petch and Michael Wilkinson. Back once again in that Fiesta WRC and trying to get their names back on that BTRDA trophy. They open up their campaign with a 7-second advantage. Stephen, the pace looks good out there, but the competition's also pretty good.
Yeah, we had a good first 2 stages, to be honest. I felt really comfortable in the car. Stage 3 we had a puncture and lost half 6 mile into the 30 miler, so it dropped us back. But yeah, we're somehow still in the fight with what else has gone on with everybody else, so we'll keep doing what we're doing.
Russ Thompson and Andy Murphy were back again this season as well. The car looked familiar, but there had been some notable changes under that metalwork. Now running in the B13 class and challenging, crucially, for the top of the leaderboard. Second place at this stage was a good way to start that campaign. Well, we're not sure where to look first, whether we should be looking at the B13 or the overall results for us.
Yeah, been a pretty good morning considering we've trying to learn the different features of the car, but I'd say in general it's been good. Yeah. Considering what? It's still fast, it still goes sideways. You're out there fighting though. It was looking pretty good in 2 where we were watching. Yeah, it's good. It's good, I'm enjoying it, yeah. Just keep going now.
Dylan Davies and Cleon Williams bring the new car out this season, stepping up to an R5 Skoda. Things started off well with the pair in 3rd place, but frustratingly for them, that wouldn't last. They dropped down the order to 23rd by the time they reached service. Pat Naylor and Ian Lawrence make a slightly slower start than they would have wanted. They tried to make up for it on the 2nd stage of the day, as you might have expected, but a few spins would indicate that they were trying a little too hard to make up that time. They do, however, end the morning in 3rd, leading the NR4 class. Fresh set of tyres, you should be able to hold off that charge from Scott now.
I think it's actually the other way around. He was pulling away from us, even though we thought we had a really good first stage. 2nd stage, made a bit of a hash of it. 3rd stage, we saw Scott, and then it's fallen into our hands, really. We haven't won it. It's just he's lost it at the moment. But you know this game. Anything can change.
Part of Naylor's reason for that lead in the class, despite the slower start, was down to a puncture for Scott Faulkner and Steve Link. They'd been leading that NR4 battle up to that point, but would sadly for them drop down the order to 16th place overall. And Ian Bainbridge and Dale Bowen returned to the stages in the Skoda that had been debuted on the final rounds of 2019. The pair clearly pushing, so much so that Ian forgot to brake for this hairpin, meaning a rather unusual line around the corner. No damage done other than a few seconds lost for the 4th place pair. Martin and Dawn England were well and truly on it in 5th. back again for another season and starting as they meant to go on. Some great times on the board from the husband and wife pair through the morning stages. There's some early attrition though as we lose Matthew Hurst and Declan Deer. The Mitsubishi Evo pair being one of many to get caught out in stage 3, leaving the road unable to continue the rally. And here it starts. Stage 3 would also lose as one of our previous Gold Star champions. Charlie Payne and Patrick Walsh also ending their event early in the Penmachno stage. While all that had been going on, things had been going well for this man, Ian Joel, Graham Wood alongside him in that Escort Cosworth. So well, in fact, that they led the rally by the end of stage 3. Sadly for them, that great start would come to an end when they gave the car a little bit of cosmetic rearranging, shall we say, on the Great Orme stage, losing them some time, dropping them to 6th place. And mixing up all of the four-wheel drive crews on the leaderboard at the midpoint in the rally would be Shane McGeer and Denver Rafferty, the B12 class pair up as high as 7th place by the time they reached service. It would be fellow Silver Star crew Andy Davison and Tom Murphy taking up 9th, the category featuring some strong contenders who were fighting in the main overall leaderboard at this opening round as well. For Carl Simmons and Mark Glenister, meanwhile, it would be 9th. A puncture early into the 2nd stage of the day would see them lose some time, but they do get through, which was more than could be said for some. So rounding out the top 10 at this stage would be George Lepley and Tom Woodburn. Some high expectations on these shoulders this weekend. They're forced to stop and change a puncture though in stage 3. Early disaster, losing them around 3 minutes. They do make up for it with the fastest time on the Great Orme stage. Not bad for the first time on asphalt in a number of years. So the morning stages are complete here on the Cambrian Rally. Dramatic as always at this opening round. The results at the top of the Gold Star category are starting to shape up, and they're looking like this. After the drama of the morning stages here in Wales, then we're into the afternoon, and we'd see a good finish for Max Bradshaw and Ocean Owen. Max's first time on the gravel. The pair had been seated right at the back of our entry today, ending the rally with 14th place in the category, 4th in B13. That is not bad at all. Sasha Kakad and James Aldridge rejoined the championship this season in the Fiesta, and they end the event 10th place overall. Not quite the finish that they would have wanted, but considering that they crashed out of this rally last year, it was a good, solid finish with some points on the board. And as was looking like being the case with that fantastic pace this morning, the final leaderboard would see one of our Silver Star crews in the BTRDA featuring in the top 10 overall. Andy Davison and Tom Murphy taking that top spot, ending the rally 9th place. It would be Carl Simmons and Mark Glenister in 8th. Without that earlier puncture, things could have been different, and they would, of course, be ruining that all the way home. Now they have to reset and come back out fighting on the next round, and you could bet they will be. The car might look more menacing for a few battle scars, but sadly for Ian Joel and Graham Wood, there would be no climbing back up the leaderboard in the afternoon. The damage had been done with that wall on the Great Orme, on the times and on the car, as you can see. They end the rally in 7th place, overall 3rd in the class. And second in that class would be Russ Thompson and Andy Murphy, themselves suffering with a puncture in the afternoon stages, dropping them down the order and into 6th. It would, though, be a fantastic comeback for George Lepley and Tom Woodburn after that earlier puncture. They managed to get themselves and that WD-40 Evo up to 5th place overall, taking the B13 class victory. They would certainly have wanted to be higher on the overall leaderboard, but given the issues that they'd had, this would be a great opening round. Another puncture, though, would be in store for Pat Naylor and Ian Lawrence in the afternoon stages. Thankfully for them, it doesn't stop them bagging the NR4 victory this weekend, with 4th place overall to boot in their Evo. We're on to our first podium of the year then, and it will be a third place finish for Martin and Dawn England. They take that position with an 8-second advantage over Naylor by the finish. And believe me, if you'd have offered them that at the start of the day, they would have taken it. For Ian Bainbridge and Dale Bowen, it will be a strong second place, challenging for the top of the leaderboard where they wanted to be, of course, and showing themselves as a contender for the overall title this season. Another one. But all of this, of course, means that it's a faultless performance and a well-deserved victory. Opening the scoring sheets with maximum points here at the opening round, Stephen Petch and Michael Wilkinson. Their bid to get a title once again here in the BTRDA, getting off to the best possible start. It wasn't a trouble-free weekend, but they get to the finish with over a minute of a lead and surely brimming with confidence here in Llandudno. So before we get all the reaction from our rally winners, here's a reminder of the final overall results in the Gold Star category here in the MRF Tyres BTRDA Rally Series of the opening round. Stephen, Michael, what a way to start 2020.
Yeah, it was a brilliant day, to be fair. Exactly how we wanted it to go. It was difficult on stage 3. We had a puncher and lost a chunk of time, but so did everybody else on stage 3. So yeah, we've stuck to it, put some decent times in and got a good result, yeah.
Coming into this, Michael, we were talking about former champions versus the new pretenders to the throne, and it's a battle we were all looking forward to. There are some new pretenders to the throne, Ian Bainbridge for one. It looks like it's going to be one heck of a season to be watching out on the stages and at home, and probably from inside that car.
Oh God, yeah, it's going to be a brilliant season. Like I say, there is some new contenders there. It was nice to actually get the better of them on level playing field. So we were quicker than them in a lot of the stages today anyway, even with that puncture. So it's nice to get the win as well.
Well, I'm sure that one will live with you for a little while, at least until round 2, and we'll see you there.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Our former champion then, Stephen Petch, with Michael Wilkinson alongside, comes out of the blocks fighting in 2020. But you've seen on the stages today on the Cambrian that he's not going to have it all his own way. We're looking forward to round 2 and indeed the rest of the season. I'm sure you are as well, and we'll have more coverage each round of the 2020 MRF Tyres BTRDA Rally Championship. We'll see you next time. Silver Star then in the MRF Tyres BTRDA Rally Series would see a host of regular faces along with some new names, all hoping to challenge for that title this season. And leading the way among them over the morning stages would be Shane McGeer and Denver Rafferty, the Irish pairing swapping times as the day went on, eventually returning to service with an 8-second lead. That lead and the man that they would be swapping times with would be over Andy Davison, Tom Murphy alongside. They'd led the event on stage 2, but the times would start to open out slightly as they get through the morning stages in that familiar sunbeam.
How's it going?
Yeah, all right, yeah. The pace is hot as we expected. A little bit rusty this morning, which I like to try and catch people sleeping, but I don't think we managed this morning. But to be coming sort of, I think, second in BTRDA at the moment, I'm quite happy with that. It's a good battle. There's still the afternoon stages to go.
Still indeed. We'll look forward to them. See you later.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
There's early frustration, though, for Elliot Payne. We lose him, along with current 1400 champion Michael Gilby, who's alongside. They'd been in third place before their rally came to a premature end in stage 3. And we'd also lose a bitterly disappointed Ben Friend and Cliffy Simmons. They've been up in 4th when they lose 2nd and 3rd gear, calling it a day before doing any more damage to that gearbox. So with challenger after challenger falling foul of the stages here on the Cambrian, it will be up to Perry Gardner and Andrew Sankey to round out our podium positions at this stage. They end the morning 3rd, leading the way in the R2 Cup. David Gathercole and Martin Don would be trying hard, perhaps a little too hard in some places. They do get through the stages in one piece, though, leading the H2 class and in 4th place on our overall Silver Star leaderboard. Ewan Tyndall and Andrew Ruffhead, meanwhile, joined the championship this season in the R2 Cup, getting hotly contested this category now. It will be a good start as well, the pair ending the morning with 5th. But it wasn't a rally without its problems so far. A puncture in the opening stage and a clutch issue causing them to work hard for that position.
100, left 6 and left 5, right 4, and right right 4 continues over crest and tight right 4 don't cut 60.
Well, that's one way of making sure that you know the wheels are bolted on when you leave service.
Yeah, tricky morning for us. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong. We had a puncture in stage 1, dropped a lot of time there, and then we've had a clutch, keeps slipping. There's an oil leak in the engine base and keeps slipping into the clutch. So, yeah, tough morning, but we'll try and make it around this afternoon.
All hands on deck now to get you back out.
Yeah, it is. Times are tight here on the Cambrian. So yeah, we'll just try and get it back out and see what we can do this afternoon.
Good luck. It's all character building, so they tell me.
Thank you.
Rob Wilson and Martin Haggett make the step up to the BTRDA after a successful junior championship season. Their first time on gravel and showing that route to the top was well and truly alive in British rallying. Things going well so far on the debut. 3rd in the R2 class for now, 6th place overall. Wilson and Haggett hadn't been in that position all morning though. It had previously been occupied by Damien Pratt and Johnny Evans. Sadly for them, their rally coming to an end, but not before showing that they were trying hard on a number of occasions through those morning stage miles. For Steve Ward and Mike Crawford, it will be 7th. A new car for this season, and the feeling was good. They'd seen many of the crews off in stage 3, opting for a cautious approach as a result for the rest of these stages. There would, meanwhile, be no such problems to report for Jonathan Jones and Lewis Griffiths. They were enjoying the stages, putting in some strong times to end the morning in 8th place. Dramatically, things were not going quite so well for our last year Fiesta ST Trophy champion Zach Hughes, Will Atkins alongside, out in a new car this season, a Twingo R2. Things were slowly starting to gain traction for the pair as the morning went on, but disaster would strike on the 3rd stage of the day, which had caught so many crews out before them. It would see the pair hitting an exposed rock, breaking the suspension, literally passengers on their way to sending them off the road and into the trees. Mike Wolf and Mark Twiname wouldn't be happy with their seeding or the subsequent conditions on the stages when they went through, picking up a puncture in the first of the day's stages as a result. They end the morning 9th place on the leaderboard, 2nd in B12. And rounding out the top 10 leaderboard at this stage would be Jonathan Jones and Jez Rogers. Reverse seeding meant that they had the dubious task of running first on the road, but thankfully they get through without any issues. Let's take a look then at some of the positions just outside the top 10, and it would be 11th overall for Fraser Anderson and Sinclair Young, the pair lying 5th in the R2 Cup as well. And for Alex Hawkins and Abby Haycock, it would be the lead in the N3 class. Our only Fiesta ST Trophy crew still running at this stage. Such had been the attrition of the Cambrian Rally for the Silver Star entries so far. There's more attrition to come as well when we lose Johnny Sproat and Sean Cunniff. They retire in the 2nd stage of the day. The cause pretty obvious, I would have thought. Losing the wheel on this corner, and despite their best efforts, they'd be going no further. So the morning stages are complete here at the Cambrian. The leaderboard at the top of the Silver Star category is starting to shape up. Let's take a look. Onto the afternoon stages then here in North Wales, and of course there'd be no change for Alex Hawkins and Abby Haycock. They round out the results in 12th overall, taking the N3 class victory. It was a class win to chalk up at the first round as well for Jonathan Jones and Jez Rogers. They finished just outside the top 10 in 11th place in that Fiesta. And so we're on to that top 10 leaderboard, and it would be a position gain for Fraser Anderson and Sinclair Young as things shake up a little. They remain 5th in the R2 class, but move up to take 10th place overall. Sadly for Mike Wolf and Mark Twiname, they'd have to stop to change yet another puncture through the afternoon stages. And with no more spares, they decided to take it pretty easy over the remaining stages. And most of us, I think you'll find, would do the same. They do take the B12 class win as well as 9th on the overall leaderboard. For Steve Ward and Mike Crawford, though, it would be the H3 class win this weekend on the Cambrian. A good weekend for the pair and a solid debut in that new car. Despite the problems that we'd seen so far in the day, it would end up being a good weekend after all hands on deck to keep that car going to the end for Ewan Tyndall and Andrew Ruffhead. Character building, they call it. They managed 4th in the R2 Cup, as well as taking 7th place overall. There'd be some problems in the afternoon stages for our early rally leaders for Shane McGeer and Denver Rafferty. They dropped back from that lead of the event in Silverstone and into 6th position. Certainly not the result they would have wanted, especially after showing such good pace early on. And it shows when things are going right for this starlet pair, they will be one to watch. For Jonathan Jones and Lewis Griffiths, it will be the final step on our R2 Cup podium, taking that 3rd position there, as well as 5th overall in the Silverstone results. And we did tell you that the R2 Cup was hotly contested in 2020. Despite a few intercom problems throughout the day, it was still a good debut on gravel for Rob Wilson and Martin Haggett. An impressive performance at that. The step up from the juniors had gone well. They take 4th place, a new intercom already on order before the next round. For David Gathercole and Martin Don, meanwhile, it will be the H2 class victory. A superb opening round of the series and some good times see them taking the final step on the Silverstar podium in that historic Spec Escort. It had been a successful day on the North Wales stages of the Cambrian for Perry Gardner and Andrew Sankey. They take victory in the R2 Cup, also managing to get themselves a 2nd place overall finish in Silverstar as well. But taking the Silverstar victory this weekend, and they would be delighted, it would be Andrew Davison, Tom Murphy. Their victory towards the end of last season certainly spurred them on to challenge for the title, it would seem, in 2020. They're certainly brimming with confidence thus far. So before we chat to our Silverstar winner, here's confirmation of how that leaderboard shaped up towards the end of the rally. Andy, I know it's a tough day for you out there, but you're always smiling, you're always chucking the thing around, and today you came out on top.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we long tough day. Struggled a bit in the afternoon, pace-wise. Luckily, we spotted a puncher in management just as we were about to pull out, so it was a bit trot, a little bit of rushing around. And we've got a bit of a bad history with Elsie. We've had a big wall and we've had a steering joint break on us and put us out last year when we were in a good position. So all of the crew was sort of, what about the last stage being Elsie? And try and put it in the back of your mind. I've never driven so slowly on a stage in my life, and I still almost went off twice. So, but now we've made it round, and Tom's done a cracking job on the notes, and the crew have done a great job keeping us going because we've kept them busy as always.
Interesting new faces and names, as well as returning competitors for the Silverstar this year as well, will make for a good fight this year.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, it's a shame for the likes of Prats and obviously Ben Friend that they've not got around the full day, because they were all sort of, I think, after the first stage, we were about 4 seconds in it between all of the guys that you were expecting to be battling against. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Well, you chalk the first one up and we'll see what happens next time out.
Yeah, that's it. More of the same, hopefully.
Cheers. A bit of a change then for 2020. The familiar 1400 category in the MRF BTRDA Rally Series will be renamed the Bronze Star. A new name, but the same high-paced action from these giant killing crews. You guys must be really fired up for this first round.
Oh yeah, you got to be excited for the first round, haven't you? If you're not excited for the first round, there's no point being here.
Bit of giant killing this season. We keep talking about that, but you do keep doing it.
Well, certainly on the Cambrian when it's slippery, we can really mix it with the big boys then. But obviously the aim is to beat everybody in our class and see how far up the table we get then.
Are you ready for the challenge this year?
I hope so. Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm really excited. Yeah, good.
You're a former BTRDA winner, and here you are, 1400 challenger once again, and every year the competition gets stronger and stronger.
There's always somebody out there to beat you for sure, yes. But it won't be for the one to try it.
Steve, let battle commence once again. You got the bobble hat on, you look ready to go.
Yeah, it's quite chilly here, isn't it? We're going to see what the weather's like, throws at us today, but the competition looks really fierce with Dave and everybody, so yeah, we'll see what today brings.
Are you feeling fierce? That's the question.
A bit nervous, to be honest.
And first of those over the morning stages would be Chris Powell and Jim Lewis. They frankly didn't care what the championship was called. They wanted to be charging at the head. The pair had been leading from the start, but various retirements along the way had extended their advantage at the top, made things look a little bit easier, a bit of a significant gap now. Well, it looks like you're managing things out there at the minute.
Yeah. Well, we've unfortunately for everyone else, luckily for us, everyone's been stricken on the side of the road. So yeah, we're just going to get to the finish now. Is the plan. So no dramas for us yet.
Stages suiting you so far?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're just as we expect to be, a slippery, technical, just as we like them actually. So yeah, lots of fun.
The first of those retirements would be notable. It was Steve Black and Paul Morris. The Suzuki pair put the car off the road in stage 3. Clearly trying right from the start though with this overshoot on the second stage of the day. We'd also lose Dave Brick and Rob Woodhouse in the third stage. They'd been chasing down Powell at the front of the leaderboard, but things would come to an end for the Nova pair in the third stage of the day. But not after lightening the car a little in the second stage when the bumper fell off. So with some of our key protagonists missing from the story, and contenders from the results at that, it would be Hefin Lloyd Davies and Rich Jones taking up second place for now. The Corsa pair going well, but the lead will be out of reach without any issues up ahead. Good morning for you so far.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Slippery out there. Just keeping out of trouble, really.
I think second place last time I looked after 4.
Yeah, no, if we can maintain that, it'd be a good day.
And the same could be said for Richard Garnett and Rob Gillam. They were too far back from the crews in front as far as fighting on the stages and stage times were concerned, but they were holding a slim advantage in that third place themselves. And as we'd already seen so far in this rally, anything was possible. Talking of which, we do lose another of our crews in this morning's stages. Richard Jordan and James Grattan-Smith hitting the same rock that claimed many others in stage 3 and coming to an early end. Just outside the podium positions then, it would be 4th for Freddie and Toby Brick. They were close to Garnett up ahead in 3rd, just 1.7 seconds the gap to be exact. So it would be a close fight through the afternoon. No heroics for Gethin Price and Matthew Baddeley. They were just seeing what the pace was like this season, feeling their way through the first stages of the rally and indeed the new decade. And things were going well so far with that approach. 5th place for now. Dominic Hodge and Stefan Arndt would be one of many to get a puncture in the third stage, and as such, it wouldn't really affect the position on the leaderboard. They end the morning with 6th place, that Micra looking splendid as always. And for Aaron Ricks and Rob Cook, it would be 7th. Unintentional donuts on the second stage of the day, but we're not complaining, are we? Wouldn't really be helping the stage times, but at least it was entertaining the spectators. We're on to the rally first category then. Only 2 crews out this weekend. Andrew and Oliver Wheatley leading the way in the category in that Puma. How's the morning treated you?
Yeah, good. It's pretty rough in places in Penmac now, to be honest. But yeah, it's been all right. Oliver's on his first rally. He's only 16, so we're finding our way around a little bit. But yeah, it's good fun. We're having fun.
And for Simon Double and Jessica Mitchell, it would be 2nd. The MG pair a few minutes back from the lead in the category though. So the morning stage is complete. The newly renamed Bronze Star category leaderboard looking like this. On to the afternoon stages then here at the opening round of the Bronze Star category here in the BTRDA on the Cambrian. We'd lose Simon Double and Jessica Mitchell. Suspension problems in the final stage causing an early retirement. That would mean then Andrew Wheatley with son Oliver on his first rally, age 16, navigating for him this weekend, would be the sole finishers in the rally first category. It was certainly character building nonetheless, and it wouldn't stop them pushing through the stages, setting some good times. Onto the overall Bronze Star results then. No change for Aaron Ricks and Rob Cook. They end the rally 6th place overall in the Escort. A bit of change now to report in the leaderboard for Richard Garnett and Rob Gillam. They dropped back to 5th in the afternoon stages from that 3rd place that they'd held this morning. And Gethin Price and Matthew Baddeley would be happy with how things had gone this weekend. Their first time out in the car together, so it was a good start to the championship for the pair. They end the day with 4th. Dominic Hodge and Stefan Arndt get some pace back and are able to make back a bit of time as well from that earlier puncture. It's damage limitation. They end the event on the final step of the podium in the wide arch micro. And things had gone to plan for Hefton Lloyd Davies and Rich Jones, finishing the rally second. A great opening round of the championship and some all-important points on the board for the Corsa pair. But with the pressure off in the afternoon, it would be victory, and a comfortable one at that, for Chris Powell and Jim Lewis. The pressure may have been off, but it didn't stop them making a few mistakes. Thankfully, nothing serious. Let's just put it down to them being a bit rusty after that long winter break, aren't we all? They take victory by almost 2 minutes. So before we chat to our Bronze Star winners, here's a reminder of how the overall results looked in the newly renamed Bronze Star category here on the Cambrian Rally. Chris, Jim, laying it all on the line again. You got your golden boots on, and you certainly got the golden prize today out there. Tough stages, so it wasn't easy for anyone, but you're miles ahead.
Yeah, it was come to win in the end. Obviously, most of the main competitors dropped out, so we just had to get to the finish by the end. So good day.
Jim, days like today are tough on you as well, because you've got to try to rein him in as well. He's got that lead out in front, and he just likes to keep going balls out, doesn't he?
Yeah, I just ignore him and just crack on, really. So, you can't tell him anything. So, it's been a good day, to be honest. Can't complain.
And what a start to the championship once again.
This is our third win in a row, I think, on the Cambrian. So we all start well, but we've got to try and keep it going this year, haven't we? Yeah. Keep the wins going.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
Yes, thank you.
The Visit Conwy Cambrian Rally would be the start of a brand new 8-round Pirelli Motorsport UK Welsh Rally Championship season. And as usual, there was no shortage of challengers, new faces, and seasoned ones competing for those top honours this season. We had it all last year, plenty of trophies, but also that wobbly steering column. You'll be hoping for plenty of firm ground out there.
Yes, we've done a lot of work on the car over the winter.
You fixed the steering column?
We fixed the steering column, we've done a lot of other stuff, so we'll find out this morning and this afternoon how it's all planned out for us. Not had any chance to test the car, so it's all a bit unknown to us.
Over the morning stages then, it would be the early lead for Russ Thompson and Andy Murphy. And it would be a strong one as well. 35 seconds the advantage at the top. Well, we're not sure where to look first, whether we should be looking at the B13 or the overall results, Russ.
Yeah, been a pretty good morning considering we've trying to learn the different features of the car, but I'd say in general it's been good. Yeah.
Considering what? It's still fast, it still goes sideways. You're out there fighting though. It was looking pretty good in 2 where we were watching.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, I'm enjoying it, yeah. Just keep going now.
For Ian Bainbridge and Dale Bowen, it would be second. Back out in the Skoda this season and hoping to be a challenger for the top spot by the end of the final round. A big overshoot in the second stage of the day would wake them up a little, but thankfully they've got plenty of room to get away with it and get back onto that stage. For Martin and Dawn England, it would be the final step on the podium staring at them for now. A good start for the husband and wife pairing who are bringing that Fiesta back out for an attack on the championship this season. Martin, clean run for you this morning?
Yeah, not too bad at all. No real problems on the stages, just the traffic getting to them, that's all.
Well, you can live with that?
Yeah, for sure. No, if we can maintain the position we've got, we'll be happy today, for sure.
You've got a long way to go.
Very much so.
Tom Llewellyn and Peredur Davies were no strangers to good results, having put in a strong performance in the championship in 2019. They lead the way in the W6 class at this stage, lying in 4th on the overall leaderboard. There's early attrition as we lose our reigning champions Matthew Hurst and Declan Deere in the Evo. They go off the road in the 3rd stage of the day, not the first to do it, and they won't be the last either. A tricky stage that would catch out many of the crews this weekend. Andy Davison and Tom Murphy end the morning with 5th overall. A good start for the Sunbeam pair. Their times last season had been improving, and they were carrying that good pace and the confidence that goes with it into this season by the looks of things. Chris Powell and Jim Lewis would be up to their usual giant-killing antics in their 1400 example Sunbeam. They end the morning 6th place, leading the W3 class. That class would be suffering from some attrition as well, losing some contenders early on, including Dave Brick and Rob Woodhouse in Stage 3 like many others. They do have an incident losing the bumper on Stage 2 just before that, although it really didn't slow them down. I'm not sure that Dave even noticed. Carl Simmons and Mark Glenister returned to the stages for the opening round this season and at the wheel of a Skoda R5. Things were going well for the pair, although a puncture in Stage 2 would see them drop a little more time than they would have wanted to so early in the day. And another Skoda crew out this season would be Dylan Davies and Cleon Williams. Sadly, their day was going much worse. They start off well, but drop right down the order before service. For Martin Andrews and Stephen Greenhill, it will be second place in W13. The Subaru pair also lying in 8th place on our overall leaderboard. And a puncture would be the cause of George Lepley and Tom Woodburn lying further down the leaderboard than we would have expected, stopping to change that tyre in Stage 3 and losing valuable time with it. Thankfully, one of the faster crews when it comes to changing a wheel, so they didn't lose as much time as you might expect. And rounding out the top 10 leaderboard at this stage in the Welsh Championship will be Perry Gardner and Andrew Sankey, leading the way in the W4 class as well at this stage and clearly going well in that Fiesta. The morning stages, though, would see us lose another crew, Damien Prats and Mike Wilding, retiring from the rally. As you can see, pushing the car hard up until that point that they had to retire. A look then at some of the class positions outside of that top 10 leaderboard, and it will be third in the W6 class for Nick Elliott and Dave Price. The Escort pair pushing that historic car well, but probably they'd have wanted to be further up the leaderboard at this stage. For David Lloyd-Roberts and Emir Hall, though, it was the lead in the W5 class. They were going well, but also having fun. Sideways for the spectators and just enjoying throwing that Escort around the classic Welsh stages. For Rob Wilson and Martin Haggard, it was a step up from junior rallying to compete on the first senior event for Rob. His first time on the gravel as well, going well at this stage with that in mind. Second in the W4 class, 13th on the leaderboard. It would be a puncture for Scott Faulkner and Steve Link, though, effectively ending any chance of a good result here on the opening round. They finished the morning way down on where they would have wanted to be fighting. They do still have the afternoon, though, to make a bit of a push and see what damage limitation can be done. For Jonathan Jones and Lewis Griffiths, it will be third in the W4 class. They were over a minute back from Wilson up ahead in the class, so that was looking unlikely to change on stage times alone. But of course, anything could happen. A lot of attrition out on those stages. There's some challenging miles to be done yet. Speaking of which, the event hadn't quite finished claiming our Welsh Championship crews. We lose Elliot Payne and Michael Gilby in stage 3. Their day, sadly, coming to an early end. And we'd also lose Zach Hughes and Will Atkins in rather more dramatic fashion. A nasty exposed rock causing the suspension to break on their new Twingo, sending them off into the trees. Crew okay, car not so much. Result, definitely not. With Dave Brick's rally coming to an early end then in the Nova, it was up to Freddie and Toby Brick to uphold family honours this weekend. And they do just that, ending the morning 17th place overall, second in W3. Third in that class and chasing the Bricks down will be Gethin Price and Matthew Baddeley. The times were very close indeed, just 0.7 of a second between the two crews at this stage. And for Robert Williams and Leston Williams, it will be second in the W5 class. Not challenging for the class victory, but still going well on these stages nonetheless. There'd be a bit of drama for Rory McCann and Tim Tugwell in the opening stage of the rally. Nothing that they couldn't overcome, though. The bonnet coming up on the Avenger on the fastest part of the stage, utterly terrifying. Of course, forcing them to pull over and sort the problem out. Luckily, they stop without crashing and are able to continue in the new lightened Avenger with added cooling. And rounding out the class results here on the opening round so far were James Dunkley and Colin Jenkins, the only crew in the W2 class, so that position at least was safe for them. A finish though, well, that's not so safe, is it? So with the morning stages complete here at the Cambrian Rally, the results at the top of the Pirelli Motorsport UK Welsh Rally Championship look like this. We're on to the afternoon stages then here on the Visit Conwy Cambrian Rally, and it wouldn't be the finish that Rory McCann and Tim Tugwell would have wanted, particularly after their heroics when a bonnet came up earlier. But it was a finish nonetheless in the Avenger. 21st place overall. For Steve Ward and Mike Crawford, it will be third in the W6 class this weekend. Further down the overall results though in 19th. There wouldn't be any change, meanwhile, in the W5 class. We see Robert and Lestin Williams ending the rally with second place in that class this weekend. There would, however, be change to the W3 class. We lose Freddie Brick, meaning that Gethin Price and Matthew Baddeley take over that second spot in the class to the finish of the rally this weekend. For Jonathan Jones and Lewis Griffiths, it would be third in W4. They drop a small amount of time to those up ahead, but still remain close on the score sheets. They'd be beaten though to second place by this man, Rob Wilson, Martin Haggett alongside. A fantastic debut on the gravel and the perfect start to Rob's senior rallying career. Proving that sideways can be just as fast as the straight line. In some cases, it would be the W5 class win for David Lloyd Roberts and Emir Hall. Entertainers of the rally, no doubt, as well as taking that class victory with 12 overall. Perry Gardner and Andrew Sankey would drop just outside the top 10 through the afternoon stages, but only just. The pair maintaining the lead in the W4 class to take victory there. And the reason for that change in part would be a move up the leaderboard for Scott Faulkner and Steve Link. Their comeback in the afternoon going well as we predicted. They take as many points as they can possibly salvage. The class win never really looking in doubt. Chris Powell and Jim Lewis take the top spot in that W3 class here on the Cambrian. The Sunbeam pair also taking 9th place overall. And just ahead of them on the leaderboard will be Andy Davison and Tom Murphy. Second in the W6 class for the pair, 8th overall in their Sunbeam. It had been a good weekend as well for Martin Andrews and Stephen Greenhill in the Subaru. They take 7th place overall, as well as the final step on the podium in the W13 class. And we're pleased to say that things in the afternoon would go much better for Carl Simmons and Mark Glenister. They managed to take 3rd in the W14 class, as well as 6th place on the leaderboard. Starting the season off just about as strongly as they left the last one, it would be a fantastic end to the rally for Tom Llewellyn and Peredur Davies. First in class, 5th overall, a fantastic result for the Escort pair. Sadly, robbing us of a fight, a puncture in the afternoon would see Russ Thompson and Andy Murphy drop back on the results to 4th. Not the victory that they had come here fighting for, but they did finish, which was more than could be said for some this weekend. And despite that puncture earlier in the rally, it would be a well-deserved and no doubt relieved podium finish for George Lepley and Tom Woodburn. They managed to secure 3rd place as well as the W13 class win in that fantastic-looking WD-40 Evo. It was a successful weekend for Martin and Dawn England as well, seeing them take 2nd place. The times were good, and they beat Lepley to that place, fair and square, by just over 10 seconds, boding well for a good fight this season. But taking victory this weekend would be Ian Bainbridge and Dale Bowie. A great way to open the score sheets and start their season, throwing their hat in the ring surely as contenders for the championship title at this early stage in the season. So with the action from the opening round of the Pirelli Motorsport UK Welsh Rally Championship complete, here's a reminder of those final overall results. Next up, the championship heads to Rally North Wales. More classic Welsh rally stages, and we can expect some new challengers to join us for the 2nd round of the series. First overall, the first round. It's good to come out fighting, right?
Yeah, I'm in disbelief, to be fair. I'm absolutely disbelief. The day was just started off badly. You know, 13th overall, 20 seconds down. I couldn't understand where the pace had gone, but yeah, we changed everything at lunchtime, just absolutely everything on the car, and it suddenly come alive. So yeah, live and learn. We're still learning.
As it turns out, the pace, the look, it had all gone nowhere. It was right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That was it. Yeah, it's all in the car, not my fault. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, but no, thank you very much. Good.
Martin, Dawn, what a day for you.
Oh, absolutely. Really surprised us. If you'd have offered this at the start, we'd have bitten your hand off. But yeah, we've just had a good, clean rally, no problems, and more importantly, no punctures. And I think that's been key today. Just keep it. But obviously, we've had to go reasonably fast.
Dawn, he would have taken the result you had halfway through the day. So he's just kept getting better through the day. And it's been good inside the car today.
Very good. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Good stages as well?
Yes, brilliant stages. Yeah. Very rough.
Cut up a bit.
Yeah. Very cut up this afternoon.
Well, you're in the right car for it. That is a way to get your campaign underway.
Yeah, very much so. Very pleased. Thanks very much.
That's how to get your campaign off to a flying start, George.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, it could have gone a little bit better. We had problems on stage 2 with a spin, down to me, and stage 3 we had a puncture, which cost a load of time with a change. But the rest of it, on the whole, we've had 2 or 3 fastest times and 2 or 3 second fastest, so I really can't be disappointed, let's say that.
Care 40 for Rateable Crest Titans.